So certain unexpected parts of the media have been going hard at Aquaman 2 as of late. It has been fascinating to watch this stuff play out. And you know the best part of it, the most hilarious part? They've been utilizing JD's own words to put Warner on blast, to dunk on that certain nameless person, and to say, you know what, this movie, yeah, it might have some real problems. Now, I've talked extensively about Warner Brothers damage control in the past. I've talked about some of the panic that we've seen with this movie. Well, you know what? I'm hearing new things from sources now. Reliable sources, I'm going to say. And those people, they're telling me this has gone beyond the rank and file. It's going up the ladder, as it were. People are taking notice. You can tell that they're taking notice, too. Yeah, they're legitimately afraid that you're going to impact this movie. That's why these words in particular, and the media's actions as of late, they scare the heck out of Warner. That's why they've been going after the fans so hard, too, because this stuff, it's starting to become a rallying cry. They can hear it resonating with audiences, and they know it's not just going to take down this movie, it'll take down a whole lot more. Fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. Oh man, this stuff, it gets better by the day. So hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day. I hope you are doing excellently. And if you would check one thing out, we have a link at the top of the description. I'll talk about that more at the end of the video, but thank you in advance. So the first thing that I want to cover here is JD putting companies like Warner on blast. This scares these companies, like I say, and you know, you've seen them going after fans. Well, listen to what he has to say about the quote-unquote fans. This was an interview with the Sunday Times, by the way. Here's what he said. Quote, "They have always been my employers. They are all our employers. They buy tickets, merchandise. They made all those studios rich, but they forgot that a long time ago. I certainly haven't. I'm proud of these people because of what they're trying to say, which is the truth. The truth they're trying to get out, since it doesn't in more mainstream publications. It's a long road that sometimes gets clunky, sometimes just plain stupid. But they've stayed on the ride with me, and it's for them I will fight, always to the end, whatever it may be." Now, I really want you to drink in that statement, seeing what he said about the fans while putting Warner on blast, and compare that with what Warner has been saying about the fans, a la people like Peter Safran, remembering they back these statements. Peter Safran, if you don't know, producer of The Suicide Squad, producer of Aquaman 2, while he was out talking about the Suicide Squad, he decided he would say something about fan pressure. Quote, "I don't think we're ever going to react to, honestly, pure fan pressure. You gotta do what's best for the movie. We felt that if it's James Wan, Jason Momoa, it should be a certain nameless person. That's really what it was. One is not unaware of what's going on in the Twitterverse, but that doesn't mean you have to react to it or take it as gospel or accede to its wishes. You have to do what's right for the film, and that's really where we landed on it." Now, behind the scenes, according to multiple sources right now, you have some real problems. You have people that are questioning what they have done because they just saw the Suicide Squad fail. They see more and more articles coming up. JD, he's saying the right thing. The cracks in the facade, they're starting to show. I mean, look at an article like this, for example. Did this article exist a couple of years ago? Absolutely not. You may have people talking about whether or not that nameless person, they were coming back for a movie, but the media, they didn't out and out ask, quote, "Is that nameless person going to ruin the movie? Will fans really boycott?" I mean, really, listen to what this is saying here. That nameless person debacle has been going on for a little while now, and the whole thing has been a mess. Based on the little I know conclusively, though, it doesn't look super good for her. People are still furious about the situation. In fact, if you look at the nameless person hashtags on Twitter, they're not good. Yeah, that's the understatement of the century. Typing in her name prompts that nameless person is you can see the descriptor there, The worst part, though, is that JD ended up getting fired from the Harry Potter spin-offs, and his reputation has taken a hit. People thought that nameless person would face some repercussions, too, but so far, that hasn't been the case. She's been in the media saying all kinds of stuff, too, referring to the idea of her getting fired as quote-unquote delusional. Some people feel so strongly about this, they're willing to skip Aquaman 2 to show Warner Brothers that they're serious. They don't want anything to do with the film if it's going to include her. See, here's the thing that absolutely terrifies Warner right now. I'm going to demonstrate it with this article here. You no longer have places that are content to ask, hey, is that person going to be fired? Let's just quote Peter Safran on it. Nope, they're talking about why that person may be fired. And well, as they become more emboldened, they're going to start adding things like does need to be fired. Here, for example, you see a change.org petition brought up. In bringing that up, they talk about background, saying that nameless person systematically crusaded to ruin JD in Hollywood, adding that men are victims of DV just like women. Do the right thing. Remove that nameless person from Aquaman too. Then they talk about the firing while quoting JD, talking to the Sunday Times, quote, whatever I've gone through, but ultimately this particular arena in my life has been absurd. Then they talk about whether or not this is going to succeed. They say it's a complicated issue that speaks to a new era in Hollywood in which personal accountability more than ever impacts what roles actors are able to take on. The question then becomes, will the petition be successful? Then they bring up Peter Safran. But you know what? Peter Safran, he's not the end of the conversation. The end of the conversation is what I quoted before, talking about the fans employing these folks, and again, JD putting those studios on blast. Now, something that attaches directly to that, and I love this, by the way, it gets brought up by sources all the freaking time, that's the timetable to the movie. I mean, you have so much panic over this. Why? Well, principal photography, it kicked off June 2021. You have a few months of filming, but you don't have this drop until holiday season 2022. You know what pops up after filming but before dropping? A little pesky trial. That little pesky trial, it could cost hundreds of millions of dollars for this company. It could end up costing them branding. You have the media falling out of love, people getting loud. Yeah, $400 million is probably what this movie will end up costing them. They could just lose that outright, plus other franchises too. Fun times, right? But anyway, let me know what you think about that. As always, too, I appreciate the heck out of you. Now, I mentioned a link earlier. That is the sign up for our new comic book. We need your backing to basically go in and try to change industry, including the industry that these folks are on. They control DC Comics. Help us out there. You know, we're an independent, like I say. Check that out. You being here, though, matters. Thank you. Can't say that enough. And I'm going to end here. Thank you again. Spread this around. See you soon.